Hey everyone, today is the morning of November 4th, and we are in a very, very tight race. It seems like it's leaning a little bit towards Biden, but for today's topic, I wanted to talk about why this was not the blowout victory for Biden that 538 was projecting. Now, in 538's defense, they also said it could be really close, and they just talk about probabilities and they are an aggregator. But I know a lot of Democrats thought that this could be a blowout or landslide victory. Given the current situation of the US economy and the pandemic, it didn't seem that good for Trump. The economy was on its way to a recovery, but because the stock market had taken such a big hit and also the number of pandemic illness related cases were going up, it just didn't look good for Trump. But why is it so competitive? Why, even at this moment, does he have a chance of winning? And this is completely my personal view, and it's going to be pretty ranty, but I think that Democrats' messaging was really, really off, and they also severely underestimated the passion and love people have for Trump. Leading up to today, you can see that the number one issue for a lot of Democrats was how the government was dealing with the illness, whereas the number one issue for a lot of Republicans was the economy. And they do think Trump is good for the economy. Trump has done a historic thing by lowering tax rates as much as he did. He has delivered on a lot of his promises as a Republican. He's also not delivered on a lot of his promises, including the wall and a few other issues. But from a Republican standpoint, he's done a lot of what he's promised to do. I think the Democrats made a fatal error in focusing so much on the illness and also being so anti Trump. Because as much as you hate Trump as a person, from a policy perspective, he has been a very reliable Republican. So that means people that voted Republican are not going to turn. Now, people were expecting that maybe because it didn't seem like he dealt with the pandemic as well as he should have, that people could turn because they're fearing for their safety or whatnot. But that just didn't seem to be the case. And actually, Trump is doing incredibly well. I think in the future, if Democrats want to be able to take the Senate or to have a stronger showing, they need to have stronger messaging on their own. This is going to be controversial, but I think they focus too much on social issues rather than economic issues. I'm not going to make a judgment call on whether it's right or wrong to focus on the social issues. Generally, I think it's good. It's good to fight for all these causes, but they wanted the moral victory more than the actual victory. Today it seems like Democrats are on track to potentially win, but it's just so close and it's not nearly as much as they thought. So, with Democrats over focusing on BLM and social justice and, talking about white privilege and canceling people sometimes, I think that is just really terrible messaging because for a lot of the people in the flyover states, you can't tell them that they have any privileges when their lives aren't very good, when their job prospects are bad, when addictions are at all-time highs. That's just not a winning strategy, and you can't tell people in red states that racism is the number one issue in America when they are dealing with their own problems. Democrats can't keep giving the perception that they're ignoring these other people or saying that they're dumb if they vote for Trump. It's just not a winning strategy. And Biden is a very moderate person, and I think he is one of the best candidates in getting some swing state voters, but at the same time, he's pretty bland. He doesn't really have a strong message other than, we're here to restore decency. Is that it or whatnot? Like, what does that even mean? Personally, I am a big fan of Andrew Yang. I think he was actually the one person that was able to reach from both sides of the aisles because he never ever disparaged anybody in red states. Always was talking about them in a very empathetic way. And Biden has also done that, but a lot of the Democratic Party and its followers have not. They've just completely disregarded 40% of the US population. And then by association, they've disregarded a lot of people that were on the fence about potentially voting Democrats because Democrats' messaging, it's just broken. It's clearly not good enough. And these votes are there. We just have to look at how much Obama won by to know that people are willing to vote for Democrats if there is a good, positive message. But this year just proves that the cult of Trump is very, very strong. People really, really love him. And if you're a Democrat and you're feeling kind of down, the glass half full way to look at this is maybe love wins. And unfortunately, not the person you love, but people who love Trump really, really turned out, because even he's getting record numbers of votes. We're at record numbers of voting this year. I think it's at 160 million, and 4 years ago it was only at 138 million. So that's a positive. In that respect, our democracy is strong. But yeah, there just needs to be a change in strategy on the Democratic side. I think for the GOP side, I mean, they also have a lot to learn, but they're doing surprisingly well given how badly we're doing as a country, in my opinion. And yeah, in summary, Democrats need to find better messaging. They need to be more empathetic if they want to win more decisively in the future. That's all I really want to talk about for today. Let me know, how did you think it would go and how's it actually going? This is Green Knight Trading, where Squires become knights. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you. Stay safe, and I'll see you soon.